Good afternoon. Got a good day of work out there today. Typical Tuesday practice. Questions?
Hell, if Paul can't go, Paul James, how does that impact what you want to do in the running game?
Yeah, if Paul can't go, initially we'll split the carries between Justin and Savon.
Okay, and that won't alter your approach?
It will not alter our approach.
Okay.
No.
Kyle, you said the other day that you don't think you can run well out of traditional sense. What do you think has been the problem?
I didn't say we can't run well in a traditional sense. I think we got to be creative in the run game. You know, and if what you're doing is not as effective as what you want, you got to be a little bit more creative. So I think some of the more one-back formations, which we've used and we've run the ball out of in the past. It's nothing that's completely new. It's just being utilized a little bit more right now, and I think it gives you an opportunity to spread the defense out a little bit. And all run plays that work separate the defense. Sometimes you separate the defense with blocking. Sometimes you can separate the defense formationally.
Kyle, just because it's a hot topic in college football, the end of the Alabama-Auburn game, do you guys practice that on either side, returning it or being prepared for somebody else to return?
We do. I think I didn't see the play live. I've since seen the highlight of it, and I think every team in the country goes on Thursdays over those type of situations, and you have your return in and you put your returner back there, and everybody knows that if you're going to attempt a field goal like that, you've only got a couple people on the field that have a high percentage of an opportunity to get the ball carrier on the ground. And it looked to me on the replay like they had two guys who had a legitimate chance to get him on the ground and just weren't able to. So,
is your guy Janarian?
As the returner?
Yeah,
he would be the returner.
Hell, is this one of the better teams in terms of putting pressure on the quarterback, defensive lines?
Very talented. Very talented up front. They play three different defensive ends on third down. That's the style of game that they want to play. Their inside kids are twitched up and good players, and it seems like every year we've played them, they've had those type of guys all the way back to JPE and I'm trying to.
George Selvey.
Yeah, George Selvey. Yeah, before him. So they've always had good defensive ends, and they've got some really high quality guys now. So, the key when you play these types of teams is you certainly have to be aware of them in protection and manage the protections. But the more you can manage first and second down, you don't give them as many opportunities to tee it up on you.
How's the energy level of the seniors getting ready for their last home game? Just when you see them in practice. And
I think the energy level of everybody was really good today. I see guys flying around the practice field. I thought the focus in the meetings was good, and there was some mistakes out there like that you would expect to have on a Tuesday practice, but I didn't sense any lack of urgency. I think they're excited about the opportunity we have this week.
Kyle, when you look at guys like Agadosi and Andre Patton, how have they developed as the season's gone on?
They've come along very nicely, and I think that's energizing to me, and I think energizing to the coaching staff when you see guys like Carlton and a guy like Andre Patton, but also guys like Janarian, a guy like Ruhan Peel, who's a redshirt freshman. He's a guy who's only in his first year playing, even though he's played significantly, and many more. And Nadir Barnwell had a couple of interceptions out there in practice today, so that was good. He had a good day today, but. Those are the things that as a coaching staff are energizing to you, because you can see the progress on a day-to-day basis. We're doing everything we can. We got to make that progress happen on game day, and that's kind of the message to the team.
Kyle, you coached Antoine Lowry for 2 years at offensive line, and then when he was a true freshman, I guess redshirting, you coached against him. He was a defensive lineman. What was he like as a defensive lineman?
Oh my goodness, that's a long time ago. That's an interesting question now. Antoine's a big, strong, physical guy. I remember him playing defensive line in our high school camp. But I'd have to go back and watch the tapes to give you a better report than that, I think.
Kyle, this defense is the team's turnover margin is so low. It's off compared to recent years. Is it not taking advantage of opportunities or not creating them, or?
I don't know if we could be where we're at without it being a little bit of both. And I know I'm not trying to walk around the question at all, but I think we've had some opportunities to intercept the ball. We haven't done it. We've been close enough to make the plays on the ball, but we haven't. But we haven't forced as many fumbles as we have in the past. So I think it's probably a combination of both.
Kyle, in the past when you've recruited brothers like the Lowrys and Stevensons and the McCourys, like brothers at different times, are there personality traits that carry over and correlate that make it a little easier for you to know kind of what you're getting out of the younger recruit?
I think what you know is the family, and you know the family values, and you know how they were raised and how they were coached, and there's a little bit more of a familiarity. Darnell Stapleton, Desmond Stapleton, so there's others. So that makes the recruiting process probably speed up a little bit because you have more information at an earlier stage. But for the most part, all of those sets, maybe Jason and Devin probably were the most alike from a personality standpoint. But the other ones, they all had different personalities. And none of them were recruited because they were siblings. For every one of those guys, and I think that's an important message to those type of players is, hey, I didn't want Desmond Stapleton to come to Rutgers because Darnell came to Rutgers. I wanted him to come because it was the best place for Desmond Stapleton. And the same thing with DeLon Stevenson. We didn't want DeLon to come here because Darrell Stevenson was in the program. DeLon Stevenson came to Rutgers because it was the best place for DeLon Stevenson.
Got time for two more?
How are Jamal and Jameel different personality-wise?
Oh my goodness! How much time do you have?
How much did you got?
Good answer. Jamil is a very gregarious personality. Very very loud guy, and Jamal's a little bit more reserved in terms of how he carries himself.
You just mentioned Delon. I think he's probable on the injury report.
I think questionable right now. Let me see. I can tell you exactly how I list him. Let's see. He was out there moving around a little bit today. Oh, probably is.
Yeah. He had an interception, I think, the last game. I think he played pretty well before.
He had an interception early in the game,
yeah. If he is able to go, what does he give the secondary?
I think it gives us another viable option. I think that's important for us. We don't have enough players. That's why Ruhan's playing both ways for us. We need more guys that can go out there and perform, not just guys who go out there. You need the guys who can go out there and perform. And in his short stay over there, he showed us that he could do some things. So he'll be a valuable piece if we can get him back.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, guys.